All right, guys, this is Ross. If you're a fan of raspberries, I think this honestly is the video for you. A lot of people just don't know that raspberries, I think, come in different colors. So there's not just red raspberries, but there's also purple raspberries. There's also black raspberries, which I have a very small, dainty black raspberry to share with you guys. But I've also experienced here in this patch, I've planted yellow raspberries and also pink raspberries. And they all, by the way, have a different flavor. So that's the beauty. If you really are a fan of these red raspberries, maybe you at this point actually have probably seen yellow raspberries in stores. Maybe Whole Foods, I think, sells these yellow ones. So you kind of probably have some sort of an idea that they actually do taste a bit different depending on the color. And it's not just with raspberries, guys. It's with all fruits. You know, the red fleshed apples taste different than the yellow fleshed apples, or the white peaches taste different than the yellow fleshed peaches. You know, every flavor, every color corresponds to a particular flavor. In the case of the raspberry, you start out here with these red ones, and that, I guess, is the baseline for everybody, because that's what we know the best. That's what we know the most, is that these are your typical raspberry flavor. As they start to sweeten up, they get a little bit more winey, a little bit darker in flavor, but that's actually what is kind of normal here in these purple raspberries, is that they will actually have a more intense, a more wine-like raspberry flavor to them. The black ones go even further and they get even more intense, and they have like really wild, intense berry flavor that I find reminiscent in something like a Marionberry. I find them in a lot of my figs and honeyberries. Anything that has a really intense berry flavor to it. That's just actually why I love them so much. The other ones, the yellow ones and the pink ones, are again a bit more mild than your typical red raspberry. And because of that, they tend to feel, at least, or seem a bit sweeter than the others. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a close-up here on these particular berries. There's definitely a difference in size. It depends on the variety. You can see the purple ones here are just almost double in size of the red ones. The black one there is super, super small. But I'll tell you, that's not necessarily normal. And in fact, when I've been eating them quite recently over the last few weeks, I've been trying to get you guys a video of this. It just hasn't necessarily worked out. But the black ones are smaller on average, and you know, that's sort of the problem with them, and that's why you'll never see them in stores, is that the black raspberry, at least the varieties that I know of that exist, they're too soft, they're difficult to pick, and they're a bit on the smaller size. So you're never really gonna see these, I think, unless you grow them. That's honestly, hopefully that's why you're here, is to be maybe inspired to grow different colored raspberries. So for me, let's taste them. There's a red, really, really good. I love that. They almost taste like a really good raspberry jam when you get them so ripe on the canes here. Let's try the purple ones now. Also very good, quite similar to the reds. Again, more of that berry raspberry flavor with a little bit of wine somehow injected in there. I would say the yellows and the pinks are a bit similar in flavor, like the purples and the reds are a bit similar in flavor. This black raspberry, it's called Jewel, entirely different than the others. And like I said, it's a really super intense berry flavor. If anyone out there has had a really nice berry fig, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's like a really nice dark wine. Let's say like a, you know, a Cabernet, a Barolo, a Barbaresco, you know, something that is really intense and bold in flavor. And, you know, if anyone also, by the way, has had a Marionberry, which in my opinion has a very intense raspberry flavor, even though it looks just like a blackberry, they have bred the raspberry and the blackberries together and created this most amazing fruit, by the way. it has a very similar raspberry intensity flavor as the Marionberry. So for me, at least, I highly recommend, it's actually become my absolute favorite raspberry, is this Jewel black raspberry here that I have. And you can see that it fruits on the last year's canes, which will very soon die as they are done fruiting now. And then these new canes come in, take their place. I pruned off the top to get them to start branching out, and we'll have a lot of fruit next year from those canes at this time of the season. We also have this Royalty here in the middle. It's been doing a great job, and Caroline is probably my favorite, by the way, of the red raspberries. You get so many berries off of these. I've done videos now in the past that I seriously, you guys should go back and watch. Just search Ross Ratty raspberries and you will see my amazing Caroline red raspberries. We got rid of Heritage, but I'll tell you, these I cut them way back just so that I can get a really good fall crop. And that's what these crops, or these canes, are coming up for, is that they're gonna fruit sometime in August all the way through November. And if you really know what you're doing, you got the soil nice and warm. I have them in a raised bed, and I put the really added soil now on top of this, because this location's a bit colder than the other location I had them in, is that now that they're getting all this extra heat, they're actually gonna go nuts, and they should produce, like they did before, about a pint of raspberries every single day, and that's per plant. This is like a whole mix of plants, and I can't really determine how many raspberries or how many even plants are in here. I've just kind of let them go in this this raised bed. But yeah, for me, I think my future though lies very heavily in these Black Cat raspberries, and I'll probably always have a red, and I'll probably really determine if I like Ann or Double Gold a bit more to have myself a lighter colored raspberry. They're just wonderful. I really highly recommend you guys grow these different colored raspberries and different colored fruits. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon, and hit that subscribe button, all right? Take care.